I do not understand why we have to shout at God. I do not understand why we have to scream at God for us to get something. Hi, beautiful people.
Hello, guys.
Welcome to She Speaks Sacred.
Where her voice becomes a sacred right.
She speaks.
We listen.
Spirit moves. I'm Wamboi Mukunda.
And I am Zanele.
And on today we are talking about why you are a beggar when you are praying. What I know about my God is all-knowing. My God is the creator of everything that is around me. My God always provides for me. My God always protects me, watches over me. And I do not understand why we have to shout at God. I do not understand why we have to scream at God for us to get something. You find that in scenarios, especially where we were practicing the Christian religion, you find you are shouting at God, you are screaming at God. And I was wondering, when I'm going to my dad to ask, my physical dad, to ask him something that I need from him, do I usually go shouting at my dad? Never. Do I go screaming at my dad for me to get a favor from him? No. I go have a sit down with him, have a talk with him, have a discussion on what I want and how I can be able to get that, as long as it's in his power for him to provide for me. But at no point do I find myself shouting at my dad. And I'm wondering why, at what point did we get as a society where we are screaming and shouting, where we have speakers that are shouting and destructive at the same time, you know? How do you pray to God? How do you pray, first of all? Yeah, and how do you communicate with God?
For me, it's more of meditation.
Yeah.
I think I meditate. I imagine myself in that space where I want to see myself. Usually shout and pray out loud for people to hear, because I know the God that I serve, or the God that, I worship or know, is within me. He knows, he or she knows, whoever, whatever I need in my life. So just me imagining for me, it's more of imagination. Like, if I were to get this money right now, I would do this and this and this. I need this kind of land. I need it to be this size. So God, this is what I need. This is what I'm going to do in this land. So provide it for me. That is how I usually see it. More of meditation, not shouting, not speaking out, because I usually have a problem with people who want me to hear their prayer. Why should I hear that your daughter is sick, your father is whatever, you need this from God? Just talk to that person or that being directly, and that being or that person will hear you. I don't need to know your problems. I don't need to know your requests. It's like what you're saying, going to your father. Should you invite the whole community, the whole village to listen to you asking your father for school fees, asking your father for money for clothes or for whatever you need? No. You just go yourself. Maybe you ask for a separate, room. You talk to him, Dad, this is what I need. If it needs to be that private, because some people feel like, I need my own privacy. Then close yourself somewhere, speak to God, make sure that you don't make your problems everybody's problem.
And the fact that God is all-knowing, as I had said earlier, you just need to go and declare. The moment you are in that meditation state, declare and command those things to come in the physical realm, because they're already there in the spiritual realm. They just need you to utter those words, to think of them, and they will appear. But also make sure that your mind and your heart is clear, because sometimes you try to tell God what you want, command it, but at the same time your heart is not clear, your mind is not clear, or there's some evilness around you and within you. And before that, I think I would also say cleanse. Cleanse your heart, cleanse your soul, cleanse your body also before approaching God and declaring what you want in this life. I think it's very important for you to be clean at heart and at mind. So if you're going to make a request to God, if you're going to the presence of God, make sure that you are in a meditative state, in quiet and in peace. First of all, the same way they say money thrives in silence and in peace, the same way our God thrives in silence and in peace. So make sure at least you are happy and you are well connected to God as you're doing your declarations. And also something else that I do when I feel like my mind is a bit clogged, I feel like I'm not at ease, I usually journal. So I write things that I'm grateful for. I do some great gratitude practices. Either I can do one for a week. I say this week I'm going to be writing something that I'm grateful each and every day, or I can do for a month, depending on what kind of situation that I'm going through at that time. So also journaling helps, and it's also a way of communicating with God. There's no specific way that you can talk to your God. The same way you have different ways you communicate to your physical dad. So the same way, just use whatever is comfortable to you, whatever is aligned with you, and always pray for alignment. Because the moment you are aligned with what belongs to you, everything will always work out for you. Make sure you have alignment in your life, and everything, you're going to thrive in every aspect of your life.
There's a Mundomowo who told me, for you to achieve what you want, you need to be in a space where you can see yourself with whatever you want. If it's a car you want, imagine yourself driving that car. What will you do with that car once it's here? Because you can't just want a car and have no direction on how you're going to use it. You can't just want a wife and have no direction on how you're going to treat this woman when she comes, how you're going to grow your family. You have to imagine beyond what you want, because most of us, we ask God, please give me money. I pray for money, breakthrough. I pray for my car keys. Once they are there, what do you now do with them? Are you able to serve others with them? Because the more we serve others, the more, we're just having this conversation just now. The more you serve others, the more God blesses you with more. And that is the secret that we haven't gotten clearly, maybe as Africans or as people in general, because for us, we feel like it's mine, I've worked hard for it, it belongs to me, I'm not, obliged to help. I don't have to black tax, I don't have to give others. But the more you give, the more it comes back to you. The more you imagine having it, the more you are going to get. And the more you see yourself helping others with that, it's going to be perfect for you. I usually love closing myself in our bedroom and just burning sage and just talking and, slowly imagining myself in the space where I want to be. For me, it's so therapeutic, and it's very good for my own meditation, because it also clears my thoughts. As much as I want to be in that space, I'm also in that space of clarity, in that space of quietness, where I lock myself and there's no distraction and no disturbances from kids. It's a place where I can imagine, and the energies, because we work with energies, the vibrations, everything has to be aligned. If you are in an energy where you are still with the mindset of poor, begging, you cannot imagine yourself in a space where you are now affording and having those things that you want and wish for your life.
It's like the red car theory, where you see the moment you identify a car that you want,
you start seeing
it all over. The same way, the moment you identify something you want, that means there's potential for it, for you to have it. So you just need to identify whatever. Then the first thing is know yourself. Try to understand yourself, because sometimes you may be wanting to become a billionaire, but maybe that's not what you are meant to do in this life. Maybe you were meant to start a children's home, give back to society, start an NGO where you are helping the environment, the communities. So also make sure that you know and understand who you are as a person, so that you're also aligned with your future and what God has placed for you. Speaking of altars, I think it's very important to also create an altar or a sacred place, either within your home, where that place is only meant for you to go and talk with God, you one-on-one. Because sometimes you find in this society, people are so dependent on pastors, on preachers, on bishops, on churches for prayers, whereas God has given you the power to declare, using your mouth, using your words, to declare everything that you want in this life, to declare even protection of your life. You don't need other people to connect you to God. You have a direct link to God. So let's be independent in how we communicate with God. Let us know in the comment sections how you communicate with God, how you do your prayers, and are you a beggar? And we really appreciate your comment. We love to engage with you. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, and all that. Bye
See you in the
bye.
next one.
Bye bye.